just got back today. Them wild-eyed boys that had been away haven't changed, had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Turn this down. The boys are back in town.
This is really annoying.
Welcome.
This thing,
Back.
this audio, the volume on this is like louder than it is in my ear.
I did have a little longer than 1 second for us to go off the rails. I did not have the 1 second under. Hey, welcome back.
We have a computer now?
wanna-bet? I do, yeah, because we don't have scripts here.
What happened?
We can't print
What
scripts.
about mine? Oh, we can't. What about my computer?
You have a different computer.
We also have a floor director who you can't see behind the camera right now.
This is all new, and we have a sponsor.
Yeah. That's the most important thing.
Sportsbook. Thank you so much for sponsoring wanna-bet. We took the spring off. We're back.
Yeah.
Football's here. We're getting ready to go. I am one of your hosts, Lee Gutner, Lee Goldberg, and look, I'm joined by, as AI again so eloquently put.
This is ridiculous.
Can we drop the right hand bug there just for 1 second?
This is ridiculous.
This is the AI.
It's still out there?
Of wanna-bet.
Folks,
We can't drop that for a second, just for 1 second. Otherwise, it ruins.
the reason why we have a sponsor is because of me.
It's hosted by Lee Goldberg, and then what it says there is other local talent. So thank you, other local talent, for being here on this day. And thank you, AI, for so accurately depicting what the show is all about.
Yeah, thanks.
Lee
Thanks, ChatGPT.
and other local
We're not
talent.
gonna get a sponsor from ChatGPT, I can tell you that.
Our first show
Thank you,
back
Caesars,
for us.
for having faith in me and somewhat him. The other talent. All right, let's go.
Our first show.
Let's go.
This is part one of our NFL preview, which doesn't start for a couple weeks, so it's going to take a bit to get through all of it. So we're going to do some of it today. This week we'll do our picks for each division because you can make your futures bets now. Next week we'll go Super Bowl, some win totals for some teams, some player props as well.
Yep.
But we're going to go division by division, and this is where you can make some money because you can bet on futures before anybody starts winning.
Yep.
It's also where you could get stuck with some fool's gold and place a bet, and then you watch the team play, and then you go, oh wow, they suck.
Well,
So
or they lose their starting quarterback.
happen,
QB1 goes down.
But that's the risk
of a
futures
future,
bet.
and that's why the odds in some cases are actually really, really good.
Yeah.
You can make a lot of money on futures, but it is a riskier proposition.
You're just assuming everybody that's on the team today will still be there 19 weeks from now.
Is that you who smells good? Sharon, did you just spritz?
No.
Somebody smells good. Not you. Sharon just walked by.
Start with
I just walked by.
It must have been you.
We'll start with the division
Smell good.
that most of you care about. Thank you for staying focused. I lost
my focus because of Sharon's
on
scent.
the ground, picking
Listen,
up a mothball.
this thing is louder than what's in my ear.
AFC East. The Bills right now
Here we go.
favored to win over the Patriots, who of course made it to the Super Bowl last year. Todd, what say you about
Oh, I started off, huh?
the AFC?
The other talent starts
East?
it off, huh?
Other talent.
The less important gets the bat lead off.
Didn't say that. It just said other.
I mean, can't we just rule out the Jets and the Dolphins right away? I mean, look at what Vegas
So these
did.
are the odds. I actually have it reversed.
What do you mean?
I've got the Jets finishing last in the division and the Dolphins finishing second to last. Although, I mean, I think we're literally looking at
I don't like that,
two
Paul.
wins versus 3 wins. I don't think either team's winning 5 games. So I think they're
I don't
both
know.
be under
I mean,
5 wins.
I actually don't mind the Jets with Geno Smith this year. I really don't. I mean, 2 years ago, if you recall, he actually had a pretty nice breakout season
when he
in
made all his
Seattle.
money.
Yeah,
Signed
and
a giant
then he signed a giant contract, and let's be honest, he stunk last year. But the Jets have weapons on offense. I mean,
They have 2.
yeah, they have Breece Hall,
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, that's more than the Dolphins have.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Achane is one thing, but they don't have a receiver.
They don't.
I mean, so anyway, we
They
can
both-
rule
they
them
both
out.
stink. We're going to agree they both stink.
Yes, they both stink. So it comes down to the Pats and the Bills in this one. Obviously, the Pats, took it last year and had an incredible, out of the blue, some may say flukish type season. And they're bringing back, that awesome offense. Drake May. a year, older and more matured, and probably will take another step forward, especially now that he has a true number one wideout in A.J. Brown coming from Philadelphia. I really want to take the Pats, for all of New England. After all, we are here in New England, here in Maine, and there's a lot of Pats fans, obviously, and I want to take the Pats. I do have reservations, not about the offense. I have reservations because of a couple of things. Their schedule is going to be infinitely more difficult. It was a cakewalk last year. I mean, it was a joke. And they took advantage of it. But they did settle into being a really good team, and they grew into who they were. So it wasn't a complete fluke. But just playing the schedule, it's like a gauntlet. They're not going to have as many wins this year because of that. And I also have questions on the defensive side of the ball a little bit. On the line a little bit. I mean, their secondary is legit, although. Gonzalez is a little perturbed, I think we can say. I listened to his presser the other day, or he was interviewed the other day. He didn't exactly, speak glowingly about the Patriots and upper management on how they were handling his contract situation. I'm sure it's going to be fine. I'm sure it's just a dance.
It's always spin from both sides. The Patriots say we've offered them this, and then they're saying this. And,
I'm sure it's a dance, and I'm sure Kraft is going to reward him, and he should, because he is one of the best top five, one of the best five backs, D-backs in the league. But on the offensive line, that's where I truly have a big question mark. I mean, it was exposed in the playoffs last year, especially in that Super Bowl. What was it? Will Campbell. Yeah. Yes. He did. He had a couple of rough games there. They did address it in the first round. They drafted an offensive lineman, but I have question marks there. So you look at the Bills then. All right, the Bills have an elite offense, one of the best in the league. They brought in DJ Moore from Chicago. And for the first time in quite a while, maybe since Stephon Diggs, they have a number one wideout now. And I think that their offense is going to continue to click. Their defense is usually a top 10 D, and it always kind of has been. However, they struggle stopping the run, and I don't know that they address that. So I think in the end, the Bills take the AFC East. The Pats still probably make the playoffs as a wild card. It could be close. I don't know. We'll figure that out this week. I'm going to do my research on that and see how many wins they'll end up with this year. Again, that schedule is a gauntlet. I just think the Bills have already they have the proven offense. They've already had that difficult schedule through the last several years. And their defense is solid. I think in the end, their downfall, why they won't make a Super Bowl again or go deep. I mean, they might go deep into the playoffs, but I don't think they go to the Super Bowl because they just can't stop the run. I don't think they're tough enough on defense, and I don't think they are even at this point. They didn't address it in the offseason. So Vegas has them at minus 150. It's not great money back if you put money on them. So I have the Bills taking the AFC East.
We agree on most of that.
Yeah.
Agree on the Jets and Dolphins for sure. In whichever order you want to put them, third or fourth.
Sure.
I don't care. They're going to be third and fourth. The Patriots, last year, and listen, I'll start with this. I would rather have A.J. Brown than Stephon Diggs.
1,000,000,000%.
That being said, Stephon Diggs last year, 85 catches, 1,000 yards.
Did he really?
So he didn't have
He had 1,000 yards?
He did, 1,000
and 85 recepts?
Yeah. So it's not like they didn't have a number one receiver last year. They did. Now, again, I'd rather have A.J. Brown, and this is an upgrade. And Romeo Doubs is an upgrade. We haven't even talked about him, and he's an absolute upgrade.
Sure.
The fact that they can trade Kayshon Boutte because they have such depth at wide receiver their wide receiver group is really good. Pop Douglas is good, and Kyle Williams is good. I mean, they've got
let's tap
players.
the brakes a little bit.
Pop Douglas is
fine.
Troy Brown.
This year, yeah, okay,
Right, so I'm
okay,
saying, but
okay.
you need a guy like that, like a Wes
All right.
Welker, a Troy Brown. You got to have those guys.
Yeah.
They can't all be Puka Nacua. So
I know, but I mean,
they've got options.
not like it's the best
So
receiving room.
I didn't say that.
Well, no, you said they have a great
strong
receiving room.
wide receiving room. They absolutely do. So, and I like their offensive, their line ish.
Yeah.
I did want them to do. I think I remember telling you when the draft was coming. All I want them to do is draft some kid from the middle of the country
Right.
with 4 first names.
Yes.
I want Billy
And
Joe
grew up on a
Bobby,
farm.
who pushes
husked
tractors
corn.
to work. Right.
Yeah.
and has no neck. And
Right.
just eats meat,
Right.
raw, kills it and eats it on the spot. I want that guy.
Meat
on
and
the
potatoes
offensive line.
every
That's what
night.
I want.
Right.
And so they are dressed in ish. Their defense does not actually.
Where's the
bother
John
me.
Deere hat?
Because if you remember
Yep.
their defense last year, it was one of the top in the
it's
league.
phenomenal.
And then Milton Williams got hurt.
Yeah.
And then the Christian Barmore got hurt.
Yeah.
So they got decimated on the defensive line. They don't have an edge rusher, but they've got actually a much better run stopping defense than they do a pass stopping defense. They don't
Yeah.
pressure the quarterback very well.
Right. Right. Yeah, they don't put a lot of. Yes,
Right.
they don't
So
have.
I like their cornerbacks,
yeah,
I
exactly.
like their
They don't
secondary, I like
sack a lot.
their
They don't
line.
do that. They don't get a
But
lot
they
of pressure.
don't
like you do.
pressure.
Yeah.
So the schedule is also a problem. Again, well documented. Pretty easy schedule last year. Listen, you can only play who's on your schedule. They went undefeated on the road. That's not a small thing. Okay, you go an entire season, you don't lose a road game.
Right.
That's a big deal. So they get what they got last year, and they get the credit for it. But this year is harder. They 100% could be 1-3 after 4 games.
I agree. Yep.
They're at Seattle, home against Pittsburgh, at Jacksonville, at Buffalo.
Oh, and
That's
yeah.
That's they're 1-3.
Yep.
After those 4 games.
Did they refresh my memory? Last year they played Pitt. They lost to Pitt,
yeah,
right?
I went to that game.
Yeah.
Five turnovers. 5
Yeah, exactly.
fumbles by Ramondre Stevenson.
right.
And Travion Henderson and the kid from Washington who then they got rid of for after 1 year. What was his name? The other running back. They tried 3 of them, and between the 3 of them, they fumbled 5 times. And then he ended up getting hurt for the season. He came over from Washington, another running back. But anyway.
For the Redskins?
But then it gets a lot easier. Yeah,
Commanders?
the Commanders. But then it got a lot easier. Then they go, the Raiders and the Jets. And so the first 4, though, whatever. It's a battle.
It's tough.
So I don't think the Patriots win the division this year. I think it's going to be hard for them. And I do like Buffalo. And it's really all about, for me, it's all about 2 things. It's about DJ Moore. Because last year, leading receiver for the Bills was Khalil Shakir, 700 yards receiving. Okay, the next leading receiver for the Bills last year was Dalton Kincaid.
It was Kincaid, right?
That's their tight end.
Yeah.
Their 3rd leading receiver, Dawson Knox, also
a tight end.
That's who Josh Allen had to throw to. Josh Allen last year had to run for 14 touchdowns.
Wow.
14 touchdowns he ran for last year. James Cook ran 1,621 yards, 12 touchdowns. So if you can let Josh Allen just not have to run so much and spread that ball around a little bit, and then you make Shakir your second receiver because Moore is your 1, and you've got 2 good tight ends, and you've got a running back. And my secret sauce for the Bills this year, they have a new head coach. And, say what you want about Sean McDermott, but it wasn't working. So whether he's a good coach or a bad coach, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that team has underachieved for years. And this, I think, is their chance to be like, listen, this is our shot here. Because DJ Moore is not a kid. So this is their shot to really make a run. A deep Josh Allen deserves this kind of run. So I also have the Bills to win the AFC East. I think it's a big surprise. -150, but I think the Bills win the division. So we are talking about the Patriots. We're about to talk about the AFC North, but before we do that, the Patriots tonight are going to play a team from the AFC North, the Browns, in a preseason game in Cleveland, and we're going to bet on that because the show is called
Want-to-bet.
So we want to bet. So we want to bet on some preseason football, and to get a breakdown of Pat's Browns, producer Jimmy.
Come on, Jimmy.
Back for another year of Want to Bet success.
What do you got, kid?
Giving us a little sleeper play from Jimmy. What do you got?
All right, guys. Not much of a sleeper here. We are talking preseason football. Final game of the preseason for the Pats. I know you guys are itching to bet, probably. Our viewers here, they love the NFL. And we got 13 days until the Pats play again. So let's get some bets in tonight. Let's win some money. So, unfortunately, I don't make the rules. All the sports books, no player props for the preseason. That's a little tough.
Yeah, you don't know who's going to play if they go for 2 snaps or something. So I'm actually glad those aren't out there because I'd probably be
You'd
the
probably
idiot
jump on them.
that picks one of them and then I'm going to lose.
Right.
So
I mean, Kyle Williams, he's catching touchdowns the last 2 games. I would have taken him for a touchdown in this one if I could, but sadly we can't. So, gonna go pretty with the grain here. I'm taking Pats spread minus 2.5. It's minus 110, relatively even money. But if you want to escalate it, I'm going to say bet on college football Saturday, because you guys are going to talk about this too. Think you have some similar thoughts. But Bill Belichick going up against TCU once again to open the season, this time out in Ireland, though. It's going to go poorly, like very poorly. I'm going to say take the spread. It keeps going up, too. Vegas recognizes it. Caesar knows. So right now it's at minus 9.5.
Yeah.
It jumped from 7.5 when I placed my bet. So I'm going to say if you want to enhance things a little bit, if you don't think the Pats can pull some good money for you, going at minus 110, take that. It'll get it to plus 266, I'm pretty sure, last I checked. So can do that, can take the Sox tomorrow, can really kind of ratchet things up. But that's what I'm thinking, and more on the Pats, too. Vrabel took a shot at his depth at the end of the last game. I don't know if you guys were listening to that, but after the Eagles were kind of pushing him around, which I'm sure our automator right now, Liam, probably loved to see. It's his final wanna-bet. Want to give him a shout-out. Liam, you're doing great. But Philly really took him to the gridiron there, really knocked him around, but Vrabel, he took a shot at the depth when Mike Reese asked him about it. He said to Mike, he said, I don't think this team's very deep, so I think that's going to really kind of rile him up, get him going, so give me the Pats. I think that's an easy pick tonight. I think they can win by more than a field goal. They tied the first game, they won by a field goal the second one. Why not?
Why not?
Why not is great logic for a wanna-bet. So we use that quite a bit.
Jimmy, you should start a new show called Why Not?
Why not? With Jimmy Sinowski.
With Jimmy Sleepers.
When I say why not, though, it's very informed why not.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, we will go.
Jimmy, buddy, thank you, kid.
AFC North. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, dude.
On paper, in the AFC North, it looks like, anyway, it's going to be a 2-team race between the Ravens and the Bengals. So I can go first on this one if you want.
Sure.
So I think we can just collectively agree Browns and Steelers will be 3rd and 4th in the division.
Yep.
I've got the Browns finishing 4th in the division. I think they're an absolute mess. They have done nothing to get better. They can't figure out Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson, and they both are horrible. So the Browns, definitely for me, 4th in the division. Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, I don't believe in their coach.
I don't believe in their quarterback.
I don't believe in their quarterback. I know they did add Michael Pittman out of Indianapolis. I like
Come
him.
on. He's fine.
Yeah, I like him. So
I think you're overrating wide receivers.
Okay.
That's the theme of this show. We're realizing you overrate
all I said
wide
was
receivers.
Michael Pittman is an addition
You,
to the team.
you said he's a good receiver.
He is a good receiver. You know, there's nothing I like more than proving you wrong. I wish we had time for this. Okay.
Okay, well,
so-
while you're going to just prove me
you
wrong,
go ahead.
I'll proceed.
Go ahead.
All right, here's the bottom line with
Yeah.
the AFC North.
Good, tell me.
All right, you've got Aaron Rodgers with Pittsburgh. No, thank you. You've got Deshaun Watson with Cleveland. No, thank you. So again, it comes down to Cincy. It comes down to Baltimore. In my opinion,
1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns with the Colts last year.
okay,
It's a good receiver.
It's average.
Yeah, it's good.
Nope. Average is different than
1,000
good.
yards used to be the Pro Bowl. Like you're in the
Used
you're a
to
Pro Bowler.
be. Used to be.
What is it now,
This
2000?
this league is all about throwing the ball.
All right.
It's all about throwing the ball. Lamar, in my opinion, last year, he seemed like uninterested in a way.
Yeah.
Just watching him play games, uninterested, lack of fire. It was disturbing. So my guess is that upper management said, if this is going to work with Lamar, we've got to make some changes. And they basically rehauled that coaching staff. And I have a feeling that this is going to be a pretty good season for Lamar and the Ravens here. Also, Baltimore had the 3rd fewest sacks last year on defense. They're known for having incredibly talented defensive teams. I mean, you can go back to the Ray Lewis days, et cetera, et cetera. Last year, their defense was kind of like the Cowboys' defense, which we all know is Swiss cheese. Well, who did they sign in the offseason? They just happened to sign and get the #1 pass rusher in the entire league, who they happened to steal from their arch rival, the Cincinnati Bengals. They got Trey Hendrickson. He's now a Raven. I think that makes all the difference in this division, and that's what's going to set the Ravens apart from the Bengals, along with a few other things. Joe Burrow, obviously an incredible quarterback. He did attend a Super Bowl. He's got great weapons on the outside, real receivers, by the way. Their running game with Chase Brown, legit. That kid's all over the place. He's going to catch probably 65 balls or more this year. Probably score 12-plus touchdowns this year. So their offense is no joke. Their defense, though, is still very suspect. And they lost their best pass rusher, and he went to the Ravens. So in the end, I've got the Ravens in the AFC North. It's plus 100. Since he's plus 160, so, Vegas does think they've got a shot. I just think the difference is a new coaching staff, a revitalized Lamar Jackson, and a better defense in Baltimore.
All right. I'm with you that Baltimore and Cincy will be the last two standing in the North.
Mm-hmm.
And Derrick Henry last year,
he's great.
He was an MVP
I love Derrick
candidate
Henry
for most of the season.
I'm targeting in my second round of fantasy
16
drafts.
touchdowns, 1,500 yards, just an absolute workhorse.
Yep.
And
he defies age.
Yeah.
Really.
He's kind of like Buffalo.
Amazing.
I think a coaching change there, and I think John Harbaugh's a great coach, and we'll get to him when we get to the NFC East.
Yeah.
I like him, but I think sometimes your time's up and your time's up.
Yeah.
And a different
and he
voice
realized
needs to be
that
heard.
too.
So I think Baltimore gets a new set of years. I think part of your the disinterest of Lamar Jackson might just be the kind of same old song all over again.
Yeah.
And he does seem to be that kind of player that gets
It
frustrated
was noticeable,
easily,
though, his
too.
body language.
But he gets,
in every
I think he's always been like that.
True.
He gets
True.
frustrated. He gets a little sulky.
Kind of like an
Things
A.J.
aren't
Brown.
going his
Like an
way.
A.J. Brown.
And with Derrick Henry as well as he was playing last year, but they don't have they have Zay Flowers is fine. But
Okay, time out. Zay Flowers is good. Like, that's a good receiver.
Okay.
I don't think he's an elite receiver.
Yeah,
He's a
he's
good
a good player,
receiver.
yeah.
He's better than, Michael Pittman.
I think he's a good receiver.
He's better than Michael
I think
Pittman.
they're both good receivers.
Who are you drafting in your fantasy draft first? Zay Flowers or Michael Pittman?
You don't watch,
Seriously?
You don't watch enough football.
I should. You
Look
know
at
what?
Michael Pittman last
I
5
eliminated
years.
doing fantasy leagues with you many years ago for a number of reasons.
Okay.
I shouldn't have.
Well,
if you're
actually-
drafting Pittman before Zay Flowers, I should never have eliminated
This year
you.
I'm not, because he's got Aaron Rodgers.
There it is, folks.
No, this year I won't.
Finally got
If
the
he was
answer.
Still on the Colts,
Finally got
but
the
he's a
answer
better
we were looking
receiver.
for.
He's a better receiver. He's in a worse team.
Whatever.
And he also doesn't have to deal with DK Metcalf, so he'd be by himself in Baltimore because there's literally
You heard
no one
what he
else
said.
to throw it to.
You heard what he said.
You can't throw it to anybody else besides Zay Flowers. So their offense is very limited. They can run the ball, they can't really pass the ball. The Ravens. So I'm actually.
Didn't they draft a rookie? Is
going-
his name like Loop or something like that? Wide receiver?
Don't know.
I'm pretty sure they did draft a wide receiver, and he's getting good press in camp right now. What was it again? Yes,
Jacoby
Lane.
Yeah.
Lane. Yeah, I
Good.
said Loop. I was
There you
close.
go.
I got an L.
Yeah.
It was four letters.
You've got a lot-
I got four-letter
you've got a lot-
last name.
You've had a lot of L's in your life. Anyway, I'm going against
Against
the trend.
you, that doesn't happen against you,
Against
though.
the trend, and I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, nice.
I feel like Joe Burrow.
Burr.
Speaking of sulky, I think Joe Burrow, for some reason, just feels different to me this year. He has been the most. I don't know.
What?
What's the best? I don't
Unlucky?
I don't want to say overrated because it's not his fault that he
he went
gets
to a
hurt all the
Super
time.
Bowl.
I'm talking about the last few. I said the last few years.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to stay on the field. So
I think it's
whether that's
unlucky.
his fault or unlucky or
Yeah.
like underachieving. This team should have had so much more success in the last few years than they've
Sure.
had. So I think this is actually finally going to be the year. Yes, losing Henderson is a huge loss, but they added 5 players to the defense that were all starters on other teams, including the starting nose guard for the Giants, who was insane last year, and I can't think of his name right now. So they did plug some holes. They're not who they lost, but they didn't just do nothing. So they added 5 actual NFL already ready starters. brought them in. So their defense has been completely revamped because it's been horrible. Their offense is video game worthy. You could put them up against the Rams as like top offenses in the league if you want to go with Jamar Chase and
Chase
T.
Brown
Higgins
and
Chase
Higgins,
Brown and so and Joe Burrow. So like they can score.
Yeah.
Their problem's been not being able to stop people from scoring. So I think this is actually the year, and the Bengals will get there. And I've got the Bengals to win the AFC.
All right, so we differ there a little bit. That's cool.
All right, so we've got 5 minutes. We can do one more division.
Yeah, let's do it.
Before,
AFC South. Here we go. We got
you
Jags,
wanna go first or
Texans,
second?
Colts. I'll go first. That's fine.
All right, good.
I really struggled with this division because I could see any one of these three, the Jags, the Texans, the Colts, winning this division. And don't at me when I say the Colts, because keep in mind, don't forget, they last year started the season 8-2 with Daniel Jones at quarterback, and then Daniel Jones ruptures his Achilles heel, and they lost their final 7 games, finished the season 8-9. Now, I actually really like the Colts a lot this year, and I'm sure a lot of folks are worried that, oh wait, Daniel Jones is coming off catastrophic Achilles injury. But Daniel Jones is actually, first of all, he's young, okay? It's not like he's a 33-year-old quarterback. He's in his 20s. I think he's like 27 or 28. So he can, in theory, bounce back faster than, someone that's long in the tooth or longer in the tooth. And just think about Jason Tatum, for instance. He tore his Achilles, right? Ruptured the thing, and came back way sooner last year than most people thought. So, modern medicine now is just getting better at fixing people and getting them back healthy again. So, hey, if he's back healthy, Daniel Jones, and stays healthy, I kind of like them as a sleeper pick and be willing to throw a few bucks at that plus 380 for the Colts. I'm not picking them in this division, but it's tempting to. And it's tempting because of that juice, the plus 380 that we just showed you there. Okay, now let's go to Houston, and let's go to the Jags. Both I kind of see as similar teams. They both have really good defenses. They both have weapons, so to speak, on offense. There's something about C.J. Stroud which makes me nervous. And a lot had to do with this video right here. This is him walking into day 1 of training camp. I don't know, man. That doesn't look like a premier elite athlete to me. Does that look like a premier elite athlete to you, Goldie?
I'm not going to judge him.
Look at that!
You ever see Brett Favre? He looked like a premier elite athlete. He's
Look at that, Goldie.
I know.
That is a dad bod. I would argue that.
Ever see Brett Favre?
I would argue your dad bod is better than that dad bod.
That's obviously true.
I mean, look at this dad bod.
It's Chisholm.
Look at this guy.
Got a 10-pack.
Ooh, that's nice. Anyway, I have reservations about C.J. Stroud, and he
I
struggled.
have a lot of reservations too right now. We have a minute. Hurry up.
He threw 4 picks against the Pats in the playoffs. That's fresh in my mind.
I was there.
I like the Jags this year. Trevor Lawrence, this shocked me. I saw a stat. The final 8 games of the season, he was the number 1 QB in the NFL.
Yeah, he had great.
He made a lot of progress. He took a step forward. They've got a plethora of receivers, good receivers, not just average ones. They have a defense that isn't Houston's defense. I'll give you that. The Texans, they are the number 1 defense in the league, but they're always top 10. So I'm going with the Jags at plus 230.
All right, well, thank you for the 30 seconds you left me.
Titans it was
stink,
worth it.
Colts stink. I am out on C.J. Stroud, and I was all in on him 3 years ago, and their receiver core is completely a mess. They have Nico Collins, and that's pretty much it. So I'm out on the Texans. I am in on the Jags. If you're looking for a fantasy draft steal, take Parker Washington.
Yes.
He's going to blow up for Jacksonville.
100% agree with that, folks.
And they're also getting Travis Hunter back because they didn't have it all basically last year. I'm all in on the Jags. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with more Wanna Bet. But before we do, last year, Zay Flowers, 86 catches. Michael Pittman, 84. Touchdown, Zay Flowers 4.
Caesars is your anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Bet from the tailgate. Bet from the stadium. Bet from your couch. Bet from your backyard. Bet from wherever. Bet with Caesars Sportsbook and flex your parlay. Your bet stays alive even if a leg misses. Plus, rack up Caesars Rewards credits and spend them on sweet deals. Caesars is your anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Download the app and start betting.
I know. I told you we were going to go an hour and a half.
Hey, also, thank you, Caesars Sportsbook.
Yeah, seriously.
It's worth us repeating, and we're not told we have to say this. We genuinely mean it. Thank you.
And we'd also like you to
sponsoring
think
our
about
program.
having us out to Vegas to see
Absolutely.
Caesars Palace.
We could do Wanna Bet Live.
We could do Wanna Bet
from
Live, yes.
Caesars Palace.
Yes.
So you tell us when, and we will be there.
Yeah, we would love to just check it out if you're
Even
willing.
if
If you're
you
willing
know,
to have us,
even-
or just me.
Even Atlantic City, if you want me to bring other talent, I can do that. All right, we're going to finish the AFC real quick because then we have to do the, by the way, NFC. We got a college football game, and we got Will back with soccer, so we got 30 minutes to finish the rest of it.
Yep.
We'll start off here, finish up with the West and the AFC. Broncos obviously best in the regular conference last year, best in the conference, best in the regular season. They are not the favorites, though. They're actually the third favorite this year. So the Raiders
Isn't that
have
crazy?
the lowest odds, Denver second, Chargers the third, and the Chiefs. Remember, these odds are based on where the betting public monies is, not on any other special information they have that we don't have. This is where the money is, and that's how the odds get set. So, and Patrick Mahomes, in all likelihood, will be back from his injury for Week 1.
Yeah.
So here's where I fall on the AFC West. I do have the Raiders finishing last. I think they're at least finally heading in the right direction. I think they've made some better organizational choices with the way they're building their team. They tried to blow up the entire offseason by trading Max Crosby and then failing to the ability to even do that.
What a cluster.
So they got him back
What
now,
a cluster that was.
which was just weird. But anyway.
I mean, he'll probably get traded at the deadline.
They'll be last for sure.
Yep.
Don't get mad at me, Justin. I've got the Chiefs finishing third in the AFC West.
Yeah, I would too.
And it's not and I'm not a Chiefs hater. I am a much appreciate all the things that they've done and as good as they've been.
It's kind of like a respect that you have
don't
for
think,
Derek Jeter and the Yankees, right?
Yeah,
I have respect for Mahomes,
I don't even
and I have
root
respect
against the Chiefs. I like Patrick Mahomes.
for Reed. You know?
I think they have and I know they added Kenneth Walker, and that was a probably the biggest offseason signing of any team in football was them getting Kenneth because they needed him like oxygen.
Yes, they
I
did.
also can basically guarantee you Kenneth Walker will play no more than 8 games because the guy gets hurt when the wind blows. So good luck. I've had him in fantasy.
And it does get windy on the
37
plains in
years a
Kansas
row.
City.
And you know what the best part about Kenneth Walker used to be? Zach Charbonnet, because you knew you could get the backup.
Right.
So I've got the Chargers finishing second. I love them this year. I love Mike McDaniel as a coordinator.
I know.
Like I liked Josh McDaniels as a coordinator. Some guys just aren't supposed to be head coaches, and that's okay. But what he does offensively is actually brilliant. Same with Josh McDaniels. And what he'll do, in my opinion, you saw Justin Herbert last year had a resurgence, came out of nowhere. They've got young receivers.
Yeah,
they've got young running backs.
McConkey's going to have a monster
Hampton is a stud running back. Harbaugh knows how to coach football. So I like the Chargers this year, but I like them to finish second. I don't know how everybody's not on the Broncos train.
I don't either,
dude. They were so good last year. Their defense was insane. Bo Nix is an actual legit NFL starter.
Dual threat, by the way. Dual threat.
By the way, what'd they go do? They added Jalen Waddle.
They added Waddle.
They got Jalen Waddle, the probably second best receiver in the AFC East, and they got him to come over. So their offense got even better. So I'm all in on Denver. I don't understand why everybody else isn't. And I think this is a really hard division. I would say the AFC West is
and the NFC West. Those two divisions
the number
are
one or
legit.
Two hardest divisions in football.
Agreed.
So this is going to be a gauntlet, but I don't know how you're not on Denver. So especially at those odds, and I don't know if we can go back to those odds and put them back up again.
Plus 210.
Plus money for Denver to win the AFC West. Again, at plus 210, give me that chance all day long. My money,
pound it,
Denver.
people. I totally agree. I have your back on this, no doubt. Also, Kansas City coming off. They have what? 3 weapons now that they have Kenneth Walker. I mean, Kelsey's getting old. But
He's getting old. He's past old.
okay, he's
And that's
past
fine.
old.
He's still
Whatever.
producer.
He still is binky, and he's still an outlet. But Rashee Rice coming off a major injury and legal issues, and you got Mahomes coming off a major injury. So they're two of their best 3 players on offense are coming off major injuries. And they're the favorite to win, and their defense was not as strong as it normally was last year. Then you look at the Broncos. If Bo Nix didn't get injured on the last play of downing the ball for his field goal kicker to kick, a fluke injury, they would have absolutely represented the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
They would have destroyed the Pats.
Patriots were
The
not winning
Pats
that
couldn't do anything in Denver until it started to snow, and then the whole game just went to kaput. Anyway, I don't see how people aren't pounding the Denver Broncos. They added Waddle, like you said. They have an elite defense. Elite. Top 5. Okay, San Diego. Wow. Wow, it is funny. The Chargers defense is legit. It's top 10, but it ain't the Broncos. The Broncos D is awesome, and they have a tougher schedule. I'll give you that. And they did win a lot of close games last year. But Bo Nix is a dual threat quarterback. He's Josh Allen light. I love him, and he got Waddle now. Give me the Broncos. Give me them all day to win.
Opening game of the season. Oh, by the way, Monday Night Football, Broncos at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
So
Broncos, Chiefs.
All right, let's get over to the NFC now. We're done on the AFC. We're going to start in the East. Eagles are the favorite to take home their 3rd straight NFC East title. The Cowboys are a betting favorite 2nd. The Giants are 3rd. And the Commanders are 4th. Giants and Commanders basically tied. And the Cowboys and Eagles really basically tied.
Okay.
So, Todd, I'm going to let you go first because this is personal to you. So.
Look, it's not a secret any longer. I kept this a secret for roughly the first 20 years of my 26-year television career. That I grew up in New England. I've lived in New England basically my whole life. I am a Cowboys fan. I've been a Cowboys fan since I was 5 years old. My older cousin, who lives over in Scarborough, was a Cowboys fan. I worshipped him. We lived together. Our mom, his mom, they all lived together in one house for 2 years. He was like my big brother. I worshipped him. I looked up to him. He was a Cowboys fan. I became a Cowboys fan. He marries a girl from Maine. He flipped. And now he's a Pats fan.
Oh.
I will never flip on my team.
Oh.
I'm loyal to my teams. Gregory, Taylor, Thompson.
Wow.
You're a traitor.
I did not realize that.
I still love you.
Mr. Thompson.
But you're a traitor.
I'll have to mention that next time.
Anyway, I hate that I'm about to say this. I'm actually shaking a little bit. I really think the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East, folks.
Todd Michael Gutner.
I know, right? I just cursed them. Please don't let them be cursed. Please. Where's the wood? There's wood back here. I know there is.
What did you say?
The Dallas Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. What? I know. I know. I'm shaking. Anyway,
August 27th, 2026.
I'm sure they're going to rip it out of my heart again. But honestly, I have the fewest question marks about the Dallas Cowboys. Their offense, if it does anything even close to last year, they're going to be able to play with any big boy team out there. They have so many weapons on offense. So many. From their running backs to their receivers. And Dak is reliable. Okay? He's reliable. He does make big plays. And I feel like he's going to win some big games for them. Defensively is where the issue has always been in recent years.
And coaching.
Coaching too, but they addressed that,
Sure.
And they were the worst defense in the league last year. They let up the most points per game in the league last year. All they have to be is just 10th worst. And they are going to be a playoff team. And they're going to be able to overtake the Eagles in this division. They addressed defense, and that was all they did in this offseason. Okay? They signed some people. They went through the draft. They got, Caleb. From Ohio State. The kid is a stud. He's a smart kid too. You listen to him speak. He speaks smartly about the game. Good human. The Cowboys are notorious for bringing in recluse type people.
Fan base included.
Yes, that is true. Look at me.
All right.
The Giants, their core offensive players are all coming off injuries. Scattaboo, Neighbors, catastrophic injuries. Jackson Dart with his concussion problems. I mean, who knows what could happen to them. I do like that team. I like that offense, and I think there's future for them. I mean, Neighbors is a stud. Scattaboo, I love watching him play. He's just a bulldog.
Who doesn't want to go have a beer with
I love watching Jackson Dart. I mean, I love his how dynamic he is too. Redskins, no, thank you. They lost. Who was it? Tunsil. Their lineman, who's probably the best lineman in the league, which is going to hurt them a little bit there, and they just don't have the offensive weapons.
No.
They don't have a receiving room. They don't.
Yeah.
And then you got the Eagles. They lost their best receiver, A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith can fill that role. He's a smaller guy, though.
They drafted Mekhi Lemon.
And they drafted, from USC.
He's a stud.
He's great, but he's still a rookie. And they've got Saquon. The biggest thing with the Eagles, and this is why I shy away from them, they have a new offensive coordinator, right? And apparently they want wow, I'm spacing out. Jalen Hurts under center more.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts is a shotgun, or that's where he's been his whole career.
Yeah.
So now he's got it might be an unfamiliar territory, a little bit different. Like, that gives me pause. Their defense is going to be awesome, like it always is, I'm sure. But, there's a question mark. They lose their number one wideout, and they've got a new coordinator calling plays, and Jalen Hurts under center. Those are question marks, and I don't have the same question marks with the Cowboys. In fact, I've got exclamation points. Especially because they addressed their defense in the offseason.
This is a bold new world.
Cowboys
where
win
no
the
one's
East.
ever traveled before. Let's get the ones that I don't like out of the way. So Giants and Commanders. And I think the Giants are now trajectorying in the proper direction.
Yeah.
I like what they're doing. I like bringing in Harbaugh. That's a great hire for them.
Yeah.
I like bringing in Isaiah Likely. What a great addition to their tight end room. He's a stud in Baltimore. He'll be a stud with the Giants.
Yeah.
Offensively, no questions about them. Defensively, they'll figure it out. They're going to finish last in the division probably. But if they finish ahead of the Commanders, that won't surprise me.
I think they might finish ahead of the Commanders.
I think the two of them either way.
If Jackson Dart stays healthy, I think they can probably beat the Commanders.
I like Jaden Daniels.
I do too.
I like his skill set. I think he's got way too much going on in his life right now. He's so distracted all the time for a young kid, and he's coming out. He's injured also all the time, so I can't really put any faith in the Commanders. But then, and obviously the Cowboys, you just spoke about how their offense is great, but to get the Eagles. The Eagles are loaded. They have an elite offensive line. They have an elite defensive line. I don't think they actually like their coach. I think they hate their coach.
Right.
They've got Saquon.
That's a problem if they hate their coach.
And Hurts has had to listen for years about A.J. Brown. I want the ball. There's been so much outside noise. And you've removed the talent for sure, but you've also removed the problem. You've removed the attitude. You removed the attitude in the locker room where the Eagles players have to stand around all the time and talk about what A.J. Brown did or said or meant or tweeted or twitched or whatever he was doing, right? That is gone. The Eagles can breathe clean air. The Eagles can sit there and just focus on football. And that's why it's not even close. For me, my pick for the AFC East is the Dallas Cowboys.
What? I love you so much.
The Dallas Cowboys are going to win the East. I love you, man. They are, dude. They're going to win the East. And I've been on the Cowboys bandwagon the past few years. This team they addressed
How about them Cowboys?
Possible thing they needed to address in the offseason. They fixed the defense. Their offense, leave them alone. They got it. We got this figured out, boys.
Yeah.
Over there's been confusion. They got defense now. Now, they don't have Micah Parsons back, but they've got defense. And enough defense to carry that with that, to supplement the offense. You don't have to be number one in both.
No.
Okay? But that offense is legit.
Yeah.
The defense is good enough.
Yeah.
Everybody else is going the wrong way in that division.
Right.
I got the Cowboys to win the NFC East.
I love you so much. Can I kiss you?
No.
I want to kiss you on the lips.
Flag.
I really do.
There's a flag.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Penalty flag and a challenge flag. I'm going 2 flags.
All right, NFC North. Let's go NFC North. Vikings, Lions, Packers, and Bears. Oh, my.
Oh, my.
Honestly, any one of these teams could win the NFC North. This might be
true.
It is true. This might be one of the most competitive divisions in football. Let's see. Look, I love the Bears. They're an exciting team to watch. I'm a big fan of watching the Bears, especially that offense. Let me tell you this. If you're drafting fantasy you got fantasy drafts coming up. I want as many pieces of that Bears offense as possible. I mean, all of it. Give me all of it this year. That's not the problem with the Bears. Their defense is the problem with the Bears. The Bears went 8-3 in one-possession games last year. That's pretty darn lucky. I would think there's going to be a little bit of regression there. That's one. And that makes it tough to repeat because they won the division last year. Yeah,
the Bears did,
the Bears won the division last year. So that's a tough to kind of repeat something like that. They obviously have one of the best offenses, but their defense is super suspect, and they didn't do anything to augment it in the offseason. So I'm going to shy away from the Bears in this one. Let's go to the Packers. The Packers have all the pieces to win this division. They have a seasoned quarterback who is good. Love. I don't love him, but I do love him. I shouldn't say love him. Maybe I just like him. What's between like and love? Anybody? Like and love. What's between that? That's where I am.
Okay.
It's like medium rare. You know what I mean?
Crush?
I have a crush on him. Thank you, Julie. I do. I have a crush on Love. I have a crush on him.
His name's Jordan.
Jordan Love.
Yeah.
I knew. Yeah.
You guys are very close.
It was super close.
Big crush.
He has burned me though in the past on some of my fantasy teams. So again, it's still just a crush. But I think they're going to struggle until Michael Parsons comes back. He's not healthy yet. I mean, he had that catastrophic injury last year. Really cost them on the defensive side of the ball. So I think you can kind of rule them out. You go to Detroit. Again, a lot of pieces here. They did lose Montgomery, part of that two-headed monster running back thing that they have, along with Gibbs. By the way, number one pick. Are you going Gibbs?
If you have the number one pick in fantasy football and it's not a dynasty league, either way, you have to take Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, you have to take him. That's how I'm going to.
Period.
Yeah, period, and end of story. But they, defensively, they might have some holes in there. I can't believe this, but I actually kind of like the Vikings this year out of the NFC North. They're no longer starting McCarthy. They picked up Kyler Murray in the offseason, coming over from the Cardinals. Is he a huge upgrade? No, but he's an upgrade. And it's what's going to make the difference on this offense. They're going to be able to put up points again with Justin Jefferson and Addison. And I really like the signing of Juwan Jennings. I know he's injury prone, but coming over from the Niners.
I had him with the Niners last
I
year.
love
it.
it.
Unbelievable.
I know.
Very
He's
consistent.
Sleeper good wide receiver. They've got 3 really good wideouts. They've got Hockenson coming back healthy at the tight end slot. And they've got 2 really good running backs, too. So I like their offense again. I think they're going to put up points. And their defense is always solid under Brian Flores.
Brian Flores.
He's always got a top 10 defense. So I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings.
Talk about coordinators who are good at coordinating.
Yes.
Brian Flores is
And by the way, that's plus 450, people.
Yeah.
It's good money.
All right, I've got the Vikings finishing last in the North.
Great.
Because of Kyler Murray. Because I just don't believe in him. So I don't. He had a ton of weapons with Arizona and couldn't get anything done there. I do think it'll be it's an upgrade for Justin Jefferson for like some DFS purposes.
It definitely is,
football.
dude.
He's been irrelevant for 2 years basically now. So he'll come back to life. That helps him. I just don't think that team is good enough to compete in this division. It's a tough division. I think the Lions are now beginning the downward trend. I think the Lions they had their time and that time has passed.
Right.
So I've got the Lions going the other way. I love Amon St. Brown. I certainly love Jahmyr Gibbs. I like Jared Goff. But I like Sam Laporta. But I think as a team, they're kind of going the wrong way. I think Dan Campbell's act is getting a little bit old in Detroit. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there at the end of the season. I like the Bears, and I will tell you right now, first, foremost, put a hand in the air. 100% wrong on Caleb Williams. I was not a Caleb Williams guy. Didn't think his game was going to translate into the NFL. Absolutely has. He is a legit talent, and it is so much fun to watch that kid play. I love watching Bears games. I'm still on the Packers. The Packers were the best team before Parsons got hurt. Parsons is coming back. So I know he's not there week 1.
Yeah,
he
but
comes back week 5 or something.
It might be 5 or 6, right?
So that's 25% of the season. So
Okay.
I still think that they are the best team when Parsons is there. Josh Jacobs is a killer. Jordan Love's good. Tucker Kraft is an emerging superstar tight end, 25 years old. They did lose, Romeo Doubs.
They lost Doubs.
But Christian
But they have
Watson
so many
is also
to fill.
finally healthy.
Yes.
And hasn't been. And they've
Yes.
got they had a rookie last year too, a wide receiver. Golden.
Golden, and they have Reed too.
And now he's going to play.
And they have
I like
Jaden Reed.
the Packers to win the North, and we've got to go through 2 divisions and college and soccer. So we got to.
So we got to fly.
So I'll go first on the NFC South. Not yet, Sophia. Falcons, Saints, Bucks, and Panthers. NFC South. Let's put the odds up there. Falcons. Look at these odds. Look at this is first of all.
Vegas doesn't like anybody.
You can look at this 2 ways. This is the most competitive division of football, or it's the worst division of football.
I think it's the worst.
So I'm going to go on the latter. I think these are 2 bad teams and 2 average teams. That's where we're at. The Falcons suck. I feel bad for Bijan Robinson. He's such a good player, and he's buried in the middle of nowhere. I feel bad for Drake London. I feel bad for Kyle Pitts. Yeah. They've got some good individual players. They signed Tua Tagovailoa because they're like, he's going to be our guy, and he can't even do it.
He's having a horrible camp.
Horrible. They thought it was Miami. It's not Miami.
No, it's him.
Guess what? Hey, like Taylor Swift said, the problem is you. Okay? Tua, you're out. Gotta go. So Michael Penix on his half a ligament, he's going to start.
Yeah.
So Falcons last in the division, done. I like the Saints. The Saints are going this way. The Saints
I do
are
too.
Up. I love Tyler Shugg. I love that they went out and got Travis Etienne.
Yep.
I love Chris Olave. Okay, there's a lot to love with the Saints.
Yep.
This isn't their year, but they are definitely going the right way. The Bucks also wrong way.
Yep.
And I love Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
And he's annoyed. He didn't get the contract he wanted.
He lost his binky, Goldie. He lost his binky.
But Mike Evans is gone.
Mike Evans is gone.
And Mike Evans is a star. And they've got and listen, Ibuka is awesome.
Yeah, but he's not Mike Evans. That was his binky.
And Chris Godwin's awesome.
Yep.
They've got players, but they're also going the wrong way. I'm on the Panthers, and I was on the Panthers last year.
Yeah,
last year I won the over on my Panthers bet.
Yep.
And they were way over. This is my year for the Panthers. Bryce Young, we know, awesome. Ted McMillan, superstar.
Wait, we know awesome? What?
Bryce
Young,
last
awesome?
year had a great year last year.
I mean...
Ted McMillan, really, really good young receiver. Their defense is just short of next level. They have a very, very good defense. And the difference for them this year, for me, is their number 1 draft pick from 2 years ago finally isn't hurt. Jonathan Brooks, who they took out of Texas as the number 1 running back off the board.
Yep.
He finally is healthy.
Although it sounds like he's still splitting with Hubbard.
So
anyway,
I got the Panthers.
We have to go real fast. I actually have the Saints in this division. I do like that trajectory that they're on. Shugg did take a step forward last year. He played really well, throwing for 250 yards per game. And the offense added Travis Etienne, dynamic back from Jacksonville. I think Chris Olave has a monster year. Yes, last year, 1,200 yards and 9 TDs. I think he tops that this year, provided he stays healthy. It is sad that Jordan Tyson, their number 1, they drafted from Arizona State in the first round, got injured, which is tragic. He's out for the season. But I like the New Orleans Saints.
Sophia, was that a 4?
Yeah, it was a 4.
Okay.
So we got to fly through the Rams. The NFC West.
Cardinals, Seahawks, Niners, and Rams. No to the Cardinals. They may be the worst team in football this year by a mile.
Agreed.
No on Seattle. I'm down on them this year.
I am too.
No on the Niners. They're not winning the West.
I like them, but they get injured too much, and they already lost Pearsall.
And the Rams are hands down the best team in the NFC West.
Yeah, they picked up Myles Garrett. Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Just the best pass rusher in the league.
And Aaron Donald coming out of retirement.
And Aaron Donald's going to come out of retirement, right? And they picked up Trent McDuffie, an elite cornerback.
Yeah.
This team is stacked from top to bottom.
loaded.
They're going to ram it all day, and they're going to ram it all night.
Okay.
All right, let's go. I was waiting to say that.
Well, let's skip college football, Sophia, because we need to get to our Caesars parlay. I want to do that, and then we got to get to Will. So we're going to skip college football, but I will tell you, North Carolina is going to get smoked by TCU. That's all you need to know.
I like the under. I
also have the under.
I like the under a lot.
Our Caesars parlay, we're going to do this for you every week. Todd and I are each going to pick one game for a 2-team parlay. We do not know what each other are picking, so we'll see if we can make a winning parlay. And it's actually possible we pick the same thing. So in our Caesars parlay, I'll go first.
Go.
And it can be any sports. I've got leg 1 of this parlay is going to be Jacob Mizorowski, pitcher for the Brewers, tonight at the Mets.
Okay.
6 Ks or more.
Okay.
That's my first half of the parlay.
All right, second half of the parlay. I have Wyndham Clark. We're going PGA, folks. 4! Wyndham Clark, top 10 finish at the Tour Championship down in Atlanta at East Lake. It's minus 100. He's made this tournament twice in the past. In 2024, he finished 8th. 2023, he finished 3rd. He's on a heater right now. A heater. He won the tournament last week. Go.
Got it. All right, so we'll see which one of us, or maybe both, are right.
Yeah.
Premier League is back up and running. That means we're going across the pond again for our buddy Will.
Will!
Premier League.
Let's go.
Match of the week.
Hey guys, it's good to be back. Hope you enjoyed your summers. We missed the opening weekend of the Premier League season, which was, in truth, a little wild. A few upsets, lots of new managers, lots of player churn and squad churn, new playing systems for teams to get used to. So a few upsets there. This weekend, I've chosen the Friday night game, which is 3 p.m. your time on Friday. This is Crystal Palace hosting Manchester City. Now, Manchester City have had a new manager. Pep Guardiola is gone. The end of an era. But he's been replaced by Maresca, who is familiar with him. He's a former assistant. He was also involved in the youth setup at Manchester City in the past as well. He's come from Chelsea. They had a win opening weekend. They did have to come back against Bournemouth, though. However, they're playing Crystal Palace, who've had a new manager. They've lost some key players. They've been very quiet in the transfer market. And some of their current star players look like they're looking for the exit. So a team in trouble, I think, this season. So I'm going to go for a Manchester City win. I think it's going to be over 2.5 goals. And I think we're going to see the man with the new haircut, Erling Haaland, open his account for the season and score. Good luck.
All right, Will, thank you.
Thank you, Will.
We have lots of fun talking about gambling. We know it's a problem for some. So if you or somebody you know has a gambling issue, please know there's help out there. There's a confidential helpline, 211 or 211main.org. Information resources available to you. The helpline and the website, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you need that, please use it. We are just kicking off a monster season of wanna-bet.
Week 1.
Week 1 is in the books. You've got bets you can make right now. You can make some money. Some will give you some instant results.
Thank
some
you
will give
again,
some future results.
Caesars. And
Thank
think
you.
about having us out.
Thank you for sponsoring
Out
me
to Vegas.
and other local talent. We love you.
You're such a dude. You really are. You know that? You really are.
Caesars is your anytime, anywhere sportsbook. Bet with Caesars Sportsbook and flex your parlay. Your bet stays alive even if a leg misses. Plus, rack up Caesars rewards credits and spend them on sweet deals. Download the app and start betting.